read the script for the first time about a year and a half ago, I think. And yeah, because it was winter time and the goal was to do it last summer. And my first reaction was, this is the movie that like young women don't ever get, or young girls don't get. And you always have the movies about guys and being in their bromances, but it's very hard to find an honest story about two young girls who are friends, because my closest girlfriends are like sisters to me, and they're part of my family, and so few times you get to see that type of relationship in a movie. And so that was the first reason why I wanted to do it, was really just because I felt like it was missing. Like, I remember watching Now and Then growing up, then my friend just reminded me that they were like 13 in that movie. So I just thought it was a great, sweet story about like a true friendship. That I think Very Good Girls as a title, because these girls are good girls, and then I guess it's just the paradox of they're very good, but they don't really want to be before they go to college. They want to do something off, and that's why the first scene in the movie, they made a bet to skinny dip in public. And I think that also has to do with the whole thing of like, how can we get out of just like following our parents' rules all the time before we go to college? Like, we have to be our own people with mistakes and flaws. We've never done anything crazy. So I think this movie captures that time and that energy of their lives. I think, like, I love GERRY so much, and it's been so much fun to act her, because there's not, obviously, a lot of, especially when her father passes away, there are lots of different layers, and she always has layers, but the main thing is that she's so insecure and unsure of exactly who she is that all she can do is talk too much and always try and compensate for things, like compensate for herself. So she tries to be funny, she talks too much, she wears crazy, ridiculous clothes, but she's always in the present, and she doesn't really have too many things going on, whereas Dakota and Boyd are always, in scenes with me, they're always like, exchanging their looks, and I'm just ignorant, and it's so fun to play that and just feel really free in the ignorance. And then it was also, I just think she has like an awesome journey of just trying to figure out exactly like where she fits in, and with her family, with like her goals in life, with Lily, with going to college, all of that. And so I just think she's like a really like great person, and like her prime, like she at this age, she doesn't realize that when she's like probably like 24, like that is when she's gonna shine. She's right now just like going through a lot of it, just trying to figure it out, try on all these different looks. Well, I think Lily and GERRY, their friendship is sisterhood. Like, they're the yin and the yang. And Dakota and I have talked about in scenes where one person's down, the other person has to be up for the other person, because they have to always have the other person's back. And it's just one of those friendships that will never go away, that will become, later in life, the crazy aunts of each other's children and things like that. So I think, and I've had the same friends, similar to Lily and GERRY. I've had the same friends since I was 5 and younger, and they're never going away. And I just love that. So Lily and GERRY meet David on the boardwalk, and GERRY immediately is like, oh, he's cute, and doesn't know how to really interact confidently with him, and he kind of picks on her, and she walks away doing the thing that girls do so much, which is like this never-ending cycle of, I wonder if he's still thinking about me, or I wonder if I see him again. Like, he'll remember me. Should I try and see him again? So she is just head over heels gonna become obsessive with him, while, you know, I had no idea that Lily even thought twice about him. And she just is like a broken record for the rest of the movie, trying to figure out her relationship with David Avery. And I can't explain how many times I've had this conversation with one of my closest girlfriends where she will be a broken record about one person. I'm like, dude, give it a break. Like, move on. It's so not worth your time. And it's kind of what Jerry needs, but Lily doesn't have the heart to do it, especially with the circumstances of her father passing away, because she thinks that's like, she can't be mean to her, and she can't also tell her the truth because she's scared that that will hurt her more. I think it's just because he's like just a confident person of few words. And Boyd's voice is very nice. I like his speaking voice a lot. So maybe that's it. Well, I guess it's like a little after about halfway through, Jerry's father, played by Richard Dreyfuss, passes away. And he dies suddenly of a heart attack in the subway. And for her, I don't think it's, she can process it, really, about how it affects her. It just kind of manifests in different ways. It manifests in her telling a lie to make herself feel better about her own life, and kind of trying to create this little fantasy where she lies about having slept with David to Lily. And I think it's because she needed some sort of comfort in her head of just something good. So she makes up a lie and just decides to believe it to be true. And that's where really when things just kind of spiral out between Lily and Jerry, because no one's really being honest anymore at that point. And it's just like a weird thing to experience a death for the first time. So that's also what's happening, trying to actually process the person just not being there for the rest of your life, and all the things that you're going to do later on in life that you can't share with maybe someone you took for granted. Dakota and I, we met, we have a funny history. So when she was 12 applying to high schools, she was applying to my school and I was a senior, because we have a 5-year age difference between us. And the school, which is also where my sisters went, asked me to give Dakota a tour of where we went, because I could answer questions about what it's like to be a student there and how the school works with a busy film schedule and things like that, because I witnessed it with my sisters. And so that's how I met Dakota when she was 12. And then she ended up going to the school that I went to. And her close friends are my close friends' younger sisters. So we've actually hung out a lot. And what was really nice that NAOMI did is that she suggested a week of going and visiting the locations before we started shooting, which had less to do with like working out the scenes and more to do with just kind of hanging out. And it was really fun. And I think that helped a lot, just doing that, like just having NAOMI put us all in a room together and just traveling in a car and then going to a house or going to the beach. And I think that helped a lot too. No, I love NAOMI. NAOMI, I love. So we've now had a friendship for about I guess a year and a half, but it feels longer. And she's a smart woman and really in tune with people and characters, and obviously actors, because you know she had to deal with her own children being actors. So talking to her is really a helpful thing. Like I just feel like she's just this bottomless pit of knowledge, and it's really nice because she's also, you know, not pretending like she's done this before. So she wants everyone's opinions. She's not like a tyrant. It's like this the most amazing way of working where we all just kind of pitch in and figure it out, and it's really lovely. I just enjoy her as a person so much. I'm so happy that I now have a relationship with her. Well, my parents are Richard Dreyfuss and Demi Moore. And two of the coolest, like Richard is his character. He's like so funny, has so much energy, very political, not afraid of it. And he's just awesome. I mean, like I grew up watching Jaws movies, which I didn't have nightmares as a kid, so no one can get mad at my parents for that one. But so I was like a huge Dreyfuss fan, grew up like when I was a kid, just because of his like drunken ship character. And that was really exciting to get to work with him, and he was so much fun and so playful and hilarious. We had so much fun filming those scenes. And Demi is a woman who loves women, and I think that's the coolest thing because a lot of women don't. So she's awesome to talk to, and is also like equally funny and has amazing advice to give. And we just had so much fun filming at that house. And I just want to hang out with Ellen Barkin for the rest of my days, who plays Dakota's mother, and Clark Gregg I've met before once. They're both amazing people. I wish I got to like actually work with them more, but the only scene I had with them was dancing in my underwear in their driveway. But just hanging out with them's been amazing. They're just, I mean, it's really insane how talented and amazing the parents are. We're so lucky. I think so. I mean, yes, there is a trailer to go back to, you know, sometimes that's not there when you're filming these movies. So there's like a balance of, you know, I don't know. I'm used to doing small projects, so working fast pace is just how I prefer to work. I get really frustrated if I'm sitting around, and that's like part of the job is just to sit all the time. But on this job we haven't been able to, and also Bobby's been trying to use as much natural light, or if we're not using natural light, to light things in advance while we're filming something else. And so he's been working. Bobby Bukowski is the DP, who's unbelievable and such good energy. And so we've just been moving fast, which has been so fun. I prefer it. I just really truly want like girls who are in high school to have inside jokes about this movie with each other, to tell you the truth. And I just think a movie like this has not been made in such a long time, about just friendship between young women. And I don't understand why that's such a hard concept, when I think every young woman experiences like sisterhood in a non-cheesy way, like with all of the flaws and everything. So I just think that like young girls like need it. Well, this is the point in time, I think, between children and their parents where you do not recognize them as people who have flaws and can make mistakes. So they're very tough on them. This is like when you shut your parents up, you're very tough on them, and you only look at them as these people who keep saying no. And I'm 23, so I've like moved past that. But it's a long phase, and it feels like a never-ending phase. And the moment you realize your parents have flaws and make mistakes, you actually can start to have a more healthy relationship with them. And I think we're all just kind of teetering on that right now in the movie. I just hope I never really know how to answer that question, but oh, I just hope it gets bought and distributed well and widely distributed, and that it will become a movie for young girls who've been like missing something like this, and now and then is what I had growing up. So something like that. So yeah, Naomi is from Brooklyn and this neighborhood-ish, I think, and I believe both her parents were doctors, and so they had, just like Lily's parents, they had offices within their homes. And what she loved so much about where we're filming specifically is that you walk 2 blocks in one direction, and then there are these like estate homes, and you walk 2 blocks in a different direction, and it's just like colorful and vibrant, and you're properly in Brooklyn. And then you have the botanical gardens, and it's all just kind of, all these weird things are so close together, and that's what like shapes also these people who grow up in these neighborhoods here. Whereas I'm from like Los Angeles suburbia in the valley, born and raised, and you just don't see this much culture in a 4-block radius. And so I think that's what's really special about filming in New York. And we're very lucky to be filming here, to get to film in the city as opposed to making some other city look like it.